Hello everybody, welcome to my channel and today's topic of God. Why make the video topic on God? Well, let me give you the reasons. For instance, in order to encounter, you have to be spiritually connected, first of all. Let me say that. Let's say you're in a battlefield and you're praying for your dear life. So, you're just want to be remembered and get your wish come true to get off the battlefield. Or maybe there's a very bad illness to one of your loved ones, and you're praying to God that He saves his or her life. These are some of the reasons for bringing God in our lives. Keep by having spiritual connection with God, it keeps you in the right track in relation to drugs, weed, or ecstasy. You can very easily get sidetracked. It's always good to remember and remember God. Now let me talk about my experiences. These are real experiences. This happened to me in real time. It was in the past, of course, and there's a very recent one. I made a video on it as well. About my spiritual relationship with God or Allah is very real. I wanted to shed light about your personal spiritual connection with God. My connection is very strong. Some people have very strong, some people have very weak. I am one of those people with a real connection. That's what I've come to know. I wanted to share my experiences, which happened while I was in university, basically. Here I was living with 5 other guys, all guys from my country, and we were sharing the house, and apparently all the other four guys, they didn't have a car, and I had a car, and it was a very nice sporty car that I had. It was a Trans Am, basically, a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. And one night I was coming back because I had moved out of their place to a new place, so I just came back to say whatever, goodwill or hi or goodbye. And one of their friends was there who also had a good car, which was a BMW, if I can remember. And as I approached the house, the door, the guy punched me, knocked me out. And I was like, and this guy was a big guy. He was like 6 feet, bouncer type personality, worked in nightclubs and all that. So I'm like shocked, like I know these guys, and this guy is like bringing this attitude for whatever reason. So and then I was like, had blood in my face, and I quickly went back to my car, and I had this one desire, wish, that, oh my God, I wish I see the cops, the police, right away, because in that area I didn't know where the police station was, and I was so badly smacked that I couldn't even drive my car properly because I was still in that shock phase. But I managed to start my car, and I drove off, and as I drove off till the next turn came, the first turn came, intersection, I saw a police van. And I was like, oh my God, God, listen to me. And I immediately got out of my car, went to the police van's driver, and I explained the situation. They dispatched a unit. They arrested the guy. And there you have it. And that was I had truly wished before I saw the police van that I wish there was a police station, because it was like purely bullying, these 5 guys I know, and they call their friend, and then this guy, big guy, and he picks a fight with me for no apparent reason, or maybe they're jealous of my car or whatever, and oh my God, okay, I got to do something about this. And it's like I virtually, if the police van didn't come, I would have probably forgotten about it, and I would have just continued with my life, and I was like, okay, they were just a bad group of people or something. And that's what happened with me. And I was really lucky that because I had this really deep wish, this desire that I see a policeman that day, and it just came after 2 minutes, and it was like, I didn't have to go to the police station. I didn't have to look for an address. And there's so many things going on when you're like in a fight and you're in that state of shock. So that was one very vivid experience, connection with God. The second reason that I'm going to talk about is I had a girlfriend while in university as well, and apparently we were going out for 3 years, and to cut the details out of it, I was really serious with her. I was probably going to end up marrying her. But somehow one day I was coming, this was in between, I think it was the 1.5 year within our relationship, and I was coming back to my room, and as I was coming back to my room, there were stairs that lead up to the room, and then I take a left. There was one day such a strong presence of something in the middle of the stairs, and I was like, what can that be, And all of a sudden, and I just stood there for like 10-15 minutes and before going up to my room, and then something in my mind told me it was my grandfather's soul. He was telling me indirectly that don't continue a relationship with this girl, and his presence, I could feel it because he was there, because you can tell who's the person. And my grandfather had passed away 3, 4, 5 years ago. And that connection was so real. It's like, oh my God. It's like I felt like I could physically feel the intensity, the energy. So, and this was a spiritual connection with me and my grandfather. And that's because I have a connection. And after 10-15 minutes, I went back to my room. And then I went back down to see if the energy field was still there. It wasn't there. It was gone. It was there to give me a hint, to give me a sign, to give me an alert, to give me a warning, and that's what happened. And then from that day onwards, I took my relationship with the girlfriend very lightly. I didn't put it to my heart. So that's one of the things. And the recent, I bet I have probably a couple of more instances of experiences with God, but I'm gonna talk about the recent one, which I just had last month. I hadn't gone to pray, to offer my prayers in the masjid. So that's where I go usually, to the masjid or the mosque. So it was quite a while since I attended the mosque. So, and this was last month, on the last Friday of the last month. And apparently I went to the masjid out of like, I think 6 weeks of missing, and then I went to the masjid and I attended the prayers, and I came back. And that same day, again, I didn't fly my drone, so I wanted to fly my drone as well at the same day, because it's been 6, 7, 8 weeks, and I wanted to get practice into flying my drone. It takes a while. If you lose it out of touch, I mean, yeah, you can fly, but you have to be good. So I went to the park that day, and I flew my drone, but apparently there was a severe thunderstorm alert out for the night. So there was going to be a massive thunderstorm with lots of rain. And in the middle of the flight, while I was flying the drone, and in the park there were many tall trees, so you had to negotiate your drone from these tall 70-foot trees. Apparently I lost control of my drone, and it hit the tree on a 70-foot height, and it got stuck. It got jammed with the tree branches. I panicked. It's like my respect and my whole world was removed from the beneath of my feet, because it's just like, how could this happen to me? I'm a good drone operator. But it happened, and again, because I didn't fly the drone for like 7-8 weeks, so I lost practice. And this was one of the things that a mistake I did. I quickly, to my reflexes, I went to the library and I got the yellow pages and I got all the numbers of the handyman. You can see this video. It's the Parrot Bebop flight number 6. It's on the channel. You can see what happened exactly. So I'm not making this up. So I got the numbers. I got like 10, 15 numbers of handyman, and it was a Friday. It was a weekend. So Friday night, it was TGIF, everybody was like, okay, it's the weekend. And I called one by one. I called like 8 or 9 handyman, and they gave me the same reply. Sorry, we're booked until next week. You'll have to come next week, and we'll be able to help you, not now. And then, after the 8th handyman I called, the 9th handyman, I told him, he asked me what's my name, I told him my name, and then I told him this deep trouble I am, I have to rescue my drone, it's on a 70-foot tall tree. He said, okay, I have a nephew, I will send him out, he's on the field, he will come to you, and you can explain your situation. Now, I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, because I went to the mosque and I prayed to God, I had this connection that day. That's the reason why this man decided to help me. Because I had gone down to the list, 10 out of 10 of my handyman telephone numbers, and nobody was helping me. Nobody. So my drone was left alone, stuck in the tree, and the weather would be bad. It would rain that day. The rain would damage the components, and I would totally lose my $700-800 investment. But apparently, because I went to pray that day earlier in the morning, this man came and helped me. And I was delighted. I paid him like whatever money I had to pay him for the attempt. He went up and climbed the tree and he rescued the drone. You can see the video. It's on my channel. I will link in the description box. And that's what happened. So, and I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, if I hadn't gone there to offer my services or offers of the prayer, no man would have helped me, and I would have lost the drone. And it was the last number I called on the list, 9 out of 10, numbers. And I was so lucky, touch wood, things worked out that day. So it was really, really a close call. So this is the video I wanted to make, and every time I hadn't made a selfie video in the past couple of weeks, I always I have to make a B-roll video before coming back to the channel, as I don't want to run out of things to talk about or just sound boring. Or feel like an empty bucket. So I hope you have liked. That's all I'm going to say for today. And it's good to be spiritual. It's good to be in contact, and it puts you in a good frame of mind instead of going into drugs and all that. And I know so many people who are into drugs and like smoking and all that. I'm not into that. I'm a clean person, and do whatever you have to do, and stay in the right path. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really like the video, click that hand icon, and if you really want to see more of the videos, click the red button, and hope to see you next video.